everybody, Josh the RV nerd from Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, and at 8,250 pounds, this is the smallest and lightest fifth wheel that Jayco makes. Jayco's never the lightest weight out there, but when you start peeling into why they have a 2+3 year warranty with allowances for full-time RVing in a smaller segment like this, the extra thick structure kind of gives you an idea why. By the way, if you're curious to learn a little bit more about that, check the link in the video description. I have a full walkthrough video tour of the Eagle plant where these are actually made. But what I want you to do first is take a look at this thing here. Now, I've already got full video footage of one of these, but since I recorded that, some updates came through. So I wanted to kind of go through it, recover it in depth, and this has the American Craftsman, that very warm, welcoming decor today, versus the modern farmhouse decor. So you can kind of get to see both decors through both of our videos. Again, I'll leave you a link in the video description to check that out afterwards. But what I want to do here is show you through a couple things that are new, explain a couple reasons why we built it this way, and also I would really love your feedback on some potential things I would like to suggest Jayco do up in the bedroom, and your feedback might actually help make that happen. Now, if you're familiar with Jayco's lineup, this is actually a sister to another existing floor plan, the 25.5 REOK Jayco Eagle HT. Very, very similar. The living room, the kitchen, that stuff is almost identical. The bedroom and bathroom deck is different. They make two versions of it. And the 25.5 has a camp kitchen where this does not, but this gains more storage as a result. So it's always a push and a pull. Now, again, today we're looking at that just warm and welcoming American Craftsman decor. This is also available in that lighter, brighter, modern farmhouse look. I will leave a link to the video description where you can see that in its detail. But first, I want to let's get through this one. You have a couple seating options. There's a freestanding table. There's also this standard booth dinette right here. But notice how it's a no-knee knocker. It's just kind of floating over negative space right there. It actually brackets against the wall. Long-legged people like me, I really like that. And in the 2021 model year, Jayco got rid of all of the carpet in all of their laminated RVs. So from Jay Feather, White Hawk, Eagle, North Point, Pinnacle, Seismic Talon, none of them have carpet in the floor, and they all have whisper ducted air conditioning. So if you don't see the square, you won't hear the air. That is nerdism number 37 if we're paying attention. Another thing Jayco lets you do is they have double AC runs, and you can control each of those individually, which is kind of nice. All these windows open for some fantastic airflow. There's cross breeze all over the place. If we're taking a look down here, you see how that theater seat can open up, and it is a wall hugger, so if you want to recline, you can do that with a little kind of hidden remote control storage in there. Now, we'll get to all the storage in the rest of the RV in just a minute, but I want to take a note to point out some things on the entertainment center here. Even with the TV mounted flat against the wall, it's never a neck wrecker, and notice how it's actually down here at neck level. Like if I take a seat in one of the theater seats, you're staring right at this thing, and thankfully I'm wearing a hat so that my bald head does not reflect a blinding light off that thing. But a lot of RV manufacturers, I swear, they keep mounting the TVs up here. And thankfully the TV is not mounted over here, so it's not a neck crank situation. Another thing they've done differently, and they're one of the very first I've ever seen do this, they moved the fireplace off to the side, which I really like. I like that it pushes heat into the RV instead of only toward the slide out. And it really makes me wonder, why haven't more manufacturers done that? What do you guys think about that little change right there? Personally, I think it's really smart. But what I want to start doing here, because we have a lot to cover in a small space, this thing has incredible storage capacity. First of all, let's just acknowledge the fact that they're still including storage above the sofa. So many manufacturers have sacrificed that to give you bigger windows, which look great. But storage is storage. You only have so much of it. And tell me that that's not already good window coverage. So if you appreciate that, like, what do you prefer the storage up here, or would you prefer bigger windows? Leave me a comment. Maybe I'm totally wrong here. Once again, we got that handy little remote control storage next to our cup holders. Little kind of tiny pockets there. Good for your remote controls just above the fireplace there. And again, notice how that TV, I said, can pivot around for some real easy viewing, even from the dinette, which is roughly the position we're at right now. All of this, by the way, it's all pocket screwed. It's all lumber core. It's all real wood stiles and rails. It does have a sticker wrap, and you notice how they're hidden hinges with strutted overhead cabinet doors, so you don't got to juggle the stuff. And this camper has perhaps the greatest example I've ever seen of what I love to call a pantry-tainment center, because that's not even the appetizer. That's not even the free breadsticks that you get. That is like the little mints that come after the dinner. Here's the main course. And what I love here is not just the insane amount of dry storage space that you get in here, it's the detail work that they put into it. Look at how high the lips are on these shelves so that every time you go towing, because this storage is all the way on the rear wall, this is going to bounce and jounce the most. Now, with this being a shorter RV, it's going to bounce and jounce less than many others, but this will jiggle bang around quite a bit more than other things. Those shelves are going to keep that stuff in place so you don't have a mess on the floor every time you get there. And man, I tell you what, if you're looking for a place for like a little dog kennel or something like that, like what else would you put in here? Big appliances? This is a little RV that can actually pack enough stuff into it that I think full-time RVers can actually use it, you know? Now down below the fridge and the stove, they have these pull-out bonus drawers right here. And what we're looking at today is the 10.7 cubic foot, 12 volt DC compressor refrigerator. It is not taller, not wider than the 8 cubic foot two-way. It's actually deeper because it doesn't need to occupy a bunch of space with a second cooling unit, both electric and propane. This is just 12 volt with an active compressor. It cools much faster. It is completely travel safe with no flame. The RV doesn't have to be level to operate that thing. Once it's down to temp, it only draws about 4 amps. Obviously, it'll draw a little bit more than that when it is getting cooled. But once it's down there, if you pop it into eco mode, it's not a battery hog. It certainly uses more juice than a propane fridge would if you're boondocking, but not so much that you can't overcome it. And you may not have noticed, but that is actually a larger oven, by the way. More like a, 20 inch or 21 inch or something like that. One that you can actually do some cooking in. And since that's a Furrion, the sparker knob actually will light the oven. And in fact, the oven won't start pumping gas in there until it detects sparks, so you don't turn this thing into an atomic bomb. Now, if you bear with me real quick, I want to get you around the back side of this Peninsula counter just to show you some extra things. That there is access to the storage space up in that area. And you see how there are some easy reach outlets, and that right there is a mount for a Furrion lit Bluetooth speaker that basically it's also just operating as some USB plugs right now. So there's a couple different purposes for that thing. Giving you a place to hang some jackets right when you walk in the door. There's a trio of Drunken Octopus coat hangers hidden behind that big mirror right there. There is not access behind the other mirror. That's basically going to be the back of the shower. And if need be, that could be taken down for some shower type plumbing access. Now, cool pair of things over here. First of all, looking at these windows, I didn't point it out specifically before, but notice how they're all fully framed out. They're all nice and outlined. That really gives these pleated shade anchors something nice to bite into, and that really helps those things work better long term so that those little anchors don't get popped out over time. Now, we looked at our awesome little carpetless dining arrangement over here. What you haven't seen is that there is some good storage below that. Now, additionally, this can fold down into a sleeper, which is one of the reasons I like to pair it up with the theater seat so that you have, guest capacity to some degree for little guests on the dinette, but you also have that nice theater seat to kick your feet up during the day. And something I've never done, I want to kind of show you how a dream dinette works. So what you want to do is actually begin by getting the cushions out of the way because they kind of overlap with the tabletop, which comes into play when you're sleeping. But it's easier to do this if you just start by getting them out of the way so you're not wrestling with 2 or 3 things at once. This actually kind of pivots up and hooks, and what you're going to do here is pull up and then pull out at the same time. Now at this point, people kind of want to go like this with it. Kind of flip the thing vertical and just let gravity do the work for you. And then as it sets down, you push in and it rests right in place. Now we can take our cushions, we can put, the cushions down for sleepy time effectively, which you're gonna do on both sides. But when you put it back up for seating mode, it's even easier because at this point, the mechanism works for you. You wanna leave it up a little bit, tilt it into place, and there you go. And if you enjoy learning more of those little extra tidbits as we go here, hit the like button on the video and subscribe and follow along here. I'm always trying to do my best to give you a little bit more, but all this extra stuff takes extra time, so it's good for me to know what things people really want to know about and which things I'm just spinning my wheels on. Now, I mentioned how I have a suggestion for Jayco, and I would like your feedback that we can send to them together. I'll just basically send them a link to this video and be like, hey, read the comments on this and see what people are thinking about the upper bathroom and bedroom deck up here. but it doesn't actually affect the bathroom, so none of this would change. Instead, what you're getting is just some really good storage. There's great legroom here for a big, tall person like me, and this is a 30 by 36 inch shower, which somebody tall like me can fit into, and I'll actually step into that in just a second. Place there to hang some towels. Now, up top, what I want to show you is two things here. A different type of Max Air vent fan. And what it has is basically there's a roof vent cover built into this, a little bit different from most of them that you see, so that you don't get rain intrusion into here. You also see that handy little night light. That goes along with, did you notice the accent lighting around the mirror? And then if I actually take a second to step in here, I am tall enough, I do got to kind of duck under that, but doing it, I still hit my head, doing it in real time, you get to see that at my size, I can stand straight up in here. I'm not, my head, my hat, they're not in the bubble. I'm still above the actual roof fixture. So most of the time when you're a little further forward, I'm going to try to spin you around without making you motion sick here. When you're actually in front of the shower head, there's even more headroom above us here, which is pretty cool. So then the question becomes, what about leg room for big guys like me, or hip room for fluffier type folks? And would you believe me that when I was a kid in elementary school and they say, hey Josh, what do you want to do when you grow up? I was like, I want to sit on toilets and take pictures of myself for people's entertainment. Would you believe I actually said that? Because I'm weird enough. I might have said something like that. I don't really remember that much of my life. Regardless, what we do have down here is excellent leg room. There's awesome leg space here. And I'm trying not to, again, to make you motion sick, but even with my long legs, if I could toe tap these cabinets. But I've got to go way out of my way to do that. And I realize that was not the most flattering camera angle for me. I really got to lay off the Pringles. The cheese ones are just so good. Now I'm going to spend some serious time up in this bedroom, far more than normal. So if you're just wanting to hop outside, you just want to take a quick glance at everything, I'm going to give you just kind of a sweeping shot of everything here. That's an optional king bed. I'm actually going to ask you some more questions and explain a few things on that in a second. But, you know, if you're like, I don't care about your ideas, I don't care about giving you feedback, you can go ahead and skip forward in the video. Or if you maybe want to try to help have some influence on some of this, stay tuned and let me know what you think here. So let's start with the air conditioner. So this is a 50 amp coach. You can install a second air conditioner optionally if you're interested. Usually in this size, with only one slide, there's only, you know, especially with Jayco's thermal package and all the radiant barrier work they do. In the Midwest, we don't find a lot of need for that. But, you know, if you're a Florida, Arizona type, you know, Texas customer, Georgia with your insane, like 9 billion% humidity, yeah, we can put a second air on that for you. Notice how there's no big step up around the bed that's going to trip you up. And what we're looking at today is the optional 70 by 80 king bed. Now, I really want to dive into this right here and explain why I've been putting king beds in all of our Eagle HTs across the board without question. Now, what doesn't happen here, some people said, yeah, but I want a queen bed so that I have bigger side stands. The cabinet spaces around this, they don't actually change. Nice look at my great looking elbow there. Oh boy. These side stands will always be the same. They're a little more accessible, certainly with a queen bed. It's a little easier to see. You've got a little storage pocket down there with a queen bed, perhaps. And that is a sealed edge pressed membrane side stand. So if you have a drink over there and it spills or it sweats or something, I'm not telling you that you can just ignore it, but it's not going to like cause a a wooden tabletop to like swell. Now on both sides of the bed, you see there's a set of household outlets, or no, I'm sorry, not household outlets. There's actually switches right there. Each side of the bed has its own switch for that overhead light, as well as the little side stand kind of nighttime courtesy reading light, whatever you want to call it. And again, it's not super obvious because it's dark on dark, but you've got household and USB outlets over here, household outlets on the other side. So this is always a very CPAP friendly model. None of anything I just explained changes when you go to a 70 by 80 king bed. The only thing that changes is you go from 60 by 80 to a 10-inch wider 70 by 80. Including in the nothing changes is the storage below the bed here. And that is actually primarily the reason I do kings across the board on this. Because RVs use kind of funky 70 by 80 king bed measurements, whereas their queen beds are residential size 60 by 80. So if this is fit for a king size bed, because you notice how there's that plywood platform overhangs so much past the boxing down there, it's a queen size box with a king size platform. If you do want a queen, you can buy an Eagle HT from Haylett RV with a king bed, and we can shave that down for you. That's not a big deal, and then you just pop in the queen bed of your choosing. But if we had one in stock with a queen bed and you wanted to go up to a king bed, now we have to remanufacture things. It takes more time, material, and it takes more money to do it right. And I don't like to do Mickey Mouse scab work. Whenever we do anything, I want to do it right. So let me know what you think about my logic of going with the king bed on these versus the queens, because again, physically nothing changes. It's really just the mattress size, and it's a lot easier to get the king from the factory than to try to upfit it after the fact. Now, the other thing I want to show you is the other direction. So if you were laying at the headboard area of the bed, and if for some reason I was, hey, champ, me and your mom are going to spend a lot of time talking to one another, like sitting down here like your new Uncle Josh kind of chat or something like that. None of that exactly made sense, did it? Never mind, regardless. This is what you're going to look at the other way. Couple cool things. You see right over my shoulder here, there's actually a neat little spot where you can hang a couple jackets or, I don't know, whatever. Dog leash. That'd be a neat little spot for a dog leash, wouldn't it? And then above that, where there's the cargo netting is there just to give you some kind of cargo capacity for it, but that's your TV space. You could pull that netting down and put a TV in there. What's cool about that cargo netting is that's another one of those tiny little updates I want to put in this. We'll see another one of those outside. The cargo netting can keep a swing arm mounted TV from jiggle banging around in transit. Can kind of act like safety netting, which is cool. Or obviously you could just take the thing down. No big deal there. But over here, this is what Jayco kind of came out with. This is one of the major differences between this one and the 25.5 REOK is what is going on in that closet. Another major difference is the fact that since this doesn't have a closet slide, it just has dual opposing huge windows in this thing. Awesome light and airflow can pump through here. And here's that space I was just referencing. The cabinets on either side of the bed aren't quite big enough to be hanging storage. So you see how you have a hanging bar up there. Now there's a shelf in that if you want to use more dresser space than hanging space, or you could, the shelf is removable. And you see that there's a pair of big dresser drawers down here, which is a nice welcome addition. Big plywood full extension heavy duty suckers. But what's also cool is if you notice there's some plumbing inside of there. If you want to remove that shelf and that hanging bar, that cabinet is actually prepped and ready for a combo washer dryer, which is going to be very good for travel and full-timers. But here's the one area where I feel this falls short, and here's where my bedroom bathroom idea comes into play. If you put a washer dryer in there, where the heck are you going to hang anything? And here's where I kind of need your input on this. And I think Jayco's actually already flirting with this idea, so we need some feedback to let them know, is it the right way to go? I think that you should kind of do a hybrid of both the 25.5 REOK Eagle with the closet slide and this 24 RE Eagle's bedroom. What I don't want to see happen is the 25.5 has a dual entry bathroom where you can actually, the slide goes between the bed and the bathroom. I don't want that to happen. I think you should keep this arrangement back here with the washer dryer prep and that huge storage, and then turn this into just a hanging closet slide. Hopefully they can maintain some kind of window there, maybe put another window up here, something like that. They actually have a model coming out called the 30.5 RSOK where they're looking to do maybe exactly that. Let's try to give them some proactive feedback. What do you think about that idea? Because then you can either have a ton more hanging storage, or you could have the washer dryer installed and maintain the hanging storage. At least enough, I think, for a smaller fifth wheel like this. As always, though, I will give you both sides of that coin. If they do go adding an extra slide up here, it's going to add some weight, and it's going to add some cost, and then naturally you've got a couple additional upkeep points. But it does mean that we're probably most definitely solidly in a 3/4 ton towable segment at that point because of the additional hitch weight that it adds, especially if you throw a washer dryer up there and then load this sucker with clothes all up front. So let me know what you think about that. Do you like it how it is? Do you prefer the 25's bedroom bathroom, the 24's bedroom and bathroom, or would you like that hybrid idea that I just mentioned that Jayco is actually introducing on the 30.5 RSOK, which I just, at the time of this filming, haven't yet had a chance to record? Let me know. But what about travel mode? Well, naturally, with no slides in the upper deck, you know, the bedroom, the bathroom, straight from this hallway become very easy to access. The question becomes what happens when we go downstairs. And the way that the slide out, the countertop, and the table interact with one another is going to vary a little bit based on your seating selection. The Dinette, I do feel, actually, generally speaking, has the most travel accessibility, however. And I say that because when you flip it down into sleeper mode, which is, first of all, you don't have to do that for this one to ride safely going down the road. But when you do, it kind of sucks it back away from the countertop enough where you don't even need to do any kind of travel trailer tap dancing or knee bashing and leg drops across that tabletop right there. You don't got to do the Hulk Hogan atomic leg smash and jump over the thing. You never even need to touch the slide out. If you need to, you can just take a sideways step, you can walk back through here, and you can get to your refrigerator, you can get to your kitchen pantry, your storage. You don't need to touch the slide out on this one. So how travel accessible is it? Really kind of depends on which table you want to put into your Eagle. The freestanding table, a little less accessible. The booth, a little more. And I love that huge bedroom window up there. I mean, it grabs your attention even from the outside right away. Not to mention it makes that room look and feel so large. But notice how that's even covered by the awning. That is a fine little detail here. They put that awning way up front on the goosenecks of Jayco fifth wheels all the time. They're very good about doing that. Now, because of the slope of the roofline, they couldn't extend it all the way to the rear wall, but they did give you the maximum potential awning length there. Once again, nobody matches Eagle's warranty. 2 plus 3 year warranty with allowances for full-time RVing is completely unrivaled within this class. What's also nice is their stable step system here is also the zero gravity variety. So it's got the easy adjust legs, you see that extra handle, but you notice how it is self-supporting, so you don't have to do the heavy lifting over here. Now, notice too, we've got that, I mentioned it, double handle. You've always got something to hold on to, easier come and go, and it's those little things. That is what I call Eagle doing Eagle things. That's really where I say that phrase all the time now, but Eagle's really where that phrase kind of began. Now down here we've got those best-in-class Goodyear Endurance radials, not time travel rated, as my friend David Weidman, one of our dedicated viewers, would point out. 87 miles an hour, one short of the flux capacitor 88, but that is a best-in-class tire right there with best-in-class, load capacity, warranties, all sorts of things. It is also the first of 4 points on Jayco's 4-star ride and handling package. It goes also to that MoRide CRE 3000 suspension system, the Dexter axles, and those wet bolt fasteners. Basically, what this all means in English is that is some of the best hardware you could ever have under a fifth wheel. And a shorter fifth wheel like this, I see as a perfect marriage for something like a gas 3/4 ton. Maybe a lot of people are going to ask me, do you consider it half-ton towable? I generally hesitate to call this thing half-ton towable just because of the hitch weight. There are a limited number of half-tons that can safely handle one of these. That being said, for the most part, this falls into the realm of 3/4 ton towability. And again, if you're looking to stay gas, you don't want to go diesel, this is an amazing marriage for a potential gas 3/4 ton. You see the full pass-through here has motion lighting on both sides. We've got that double-sided radiant foil all the way through the bath deck. That's one of the only places in this RV you can see it, although if you lift that linoleum flap on the slide flooring, you can see it there as well. Jayco uses more of that than anybody I've ever seen, even on a smaller model like this. A lot of companies will throw it in the roof. Some might throw it in the basement. Jayco does all that. They also run it all the way down the nose cap, all the way across that bedroom bathroom deck, even above the pin box, which is an area that a lot of manufacturers tend to slack off a little bit because people don't think about that. Speaking of which, one of the newer updates on this here is the turning point hitch system. So if you've got one of those short bed pickups, this might save you an extra $1,000 on your hitching by avoiding the need for a slider hitch. Now up front here you see that we've got room for all sorts of batteries on the right. One of the cool things on Eagles is that they are fitted for up to 4 batteries in that right-hand compartment. Now on the left over there you see just a big chunk of storage space. One of the other things that's really cool is Jayco does offer a dry camp package, which makes this generator ready and adds an additional 30-pound propane tank. So if that's something you're looking for, give us a call. We can put a personal build together. Weirdly, they do not offer a factory generator on Eagles. Something about the road restrictions in Canada, I don't fully understand it. I don't personally agree with it, but I guess I don't have to because it doesn't matter because it's not offered. It is not just backup camera ready. It is also side view camera ready. So once again, if you're looking to do a lot of towing and going, you want to make sure that your blind spots are cleared out. It is all prepped and ready for all that. Actually, every Jayco laminated travel trailer or fifth wheel has that feature right there. And I knew I would forget to do this. I forgot to open that baggage door, which takes 2 hands, and one of mine's on the camera. I'm telling you folks, it takes a special kind of stupid to continue making these mistakes day after day. Yes, a special kind of stupid indeed. Although thankfully, those double magnet catches are keeping the door from dropping on my head. Not that it's going to do any brain damage, obviously, from what you've seen, folks. Simple side mount solar prep plug. We're going to get up on the roof to check her out. Motion lighting and an outside shower right there. But notice, that's your third motion light. You've got one on both sides of the pass-through and one dedicated in just that compartment. Our auto leveling controls are up where shifting cargo is not going to smash them. If I'm being picky, and again, I always try to be fair, I would actually prefer that to be up next to the auto leveling controls, but I still think it's up high enough. It's really not going to be too much of an issue. Now, along with that radiant foil discussion that we just had, what you can't see is how this is enclosed, actually insulated with more than just a radiant barrier and forced air heated. Eagles are some of the best in their class at both hot and cold camp ratings, tested, proven, and published. We are slide awning ready. All the windows open for maximum airflow as sliding type windows. And again, we're not only just rear camera ready, but side camera ready. And something this has is Jayco's exclusive J Smart lighting system. You see that extra light bar right above the camera prep up there? What that is going to do for us is that is reverse lighting. Plus you have reverse lighting in the taillights. But a couple other companies have kind of jumped on that. What they don't have that Jayco has is the turn signal safety lighting aspect of this. If you flip on your right hand blinker, all of the clearance lights along the side of this RV are going to blink with it. And obviously left for left, you know, makes sense. But that's one of those extra, like semi-tractor trailers do that. RVs don't usually do that. That is an extra hidden value item that goes into a Jayco. And really, if there's one thing Jayco does best, it's hiding their value from consumers. It sounds kind of weird and goofy, but they are very good at doing more things under the skin than you possibly realize. They were also the first in this class to standardize that 3,000-pound, not just accessory hitch, but towing hitch back there with the 4-way wiring harness and safety chain hooks. And I'm glad the weather's finally warmed back up so I can get back up here and really do a good job showing you around the roof of these things. Because Jayco is way ahead of the curve on things like solar prep. And you see the little, where's it at over here? It's over here. That this is hard to do, by the way, backwards in a camera. That's hard to do. That black thing right there is our roof solar prep plug. Jayco does offer a 190 watt Overlander Go Power roof solar package. And the charge controller that comes with that can accommodate a second 190 watt panel before you got to go shifting anything else around. Now, that's enough solar to pretty much run any of the lights and the fans you want. That'll give you a really good extended use of your 12-volt fridge. I'll tell you though, if you're going to stay off-grid full-time with the 12-volt fridge like we're looking at here today, you're going to want to get extra batteries, bigger batteries, better batteries, and if you're going to stay out a really long time, you're probably still going to want to get a small generator. Oh, God. You're going to want to get a small generator. There you go. Just to keep those things topped off in case you get a lot of cloudy days. I hope you appreciate the fact that we don't smoke screen you on that and say, oh, you can use this all you want. 12-volt fridges are great. They use more power than a propane fridge when you're off-grid. One of the other things you're not seeing, though, we're walking on plywood the same way Katrina and the waves were walking on sunshine, which that's a song that's in my head now. But that is all part of Jayco's Magnum Truss roof system. Long story short, this roof is rated for like 50% more weight than pretty much anybody else even remotely close to this class. Even bigger luxury fifth wheels don't have the roof load rating of this one. It's a big thing they're doing. Like I said, Jayco's very good at hidden value. And since I'm batting 1,000 today, almost forgot one of the new updates I was going to tell you about. Right back here on this model, right behind that rear auto leveling jack, which is another option that we like to apply to these here at Haylett RV, you've got the new exclusive J port. Because what Jayco does is they take anything, they add letters J-A-Y in front of it, and now it's Jayco's. In the same way that a dog marks its territory like peeing on a tree, now it's mine. Thank God my neighbor doesn't do that with my lawnmower. 2-inch receiver hitch off the side of the trailer is basically what it is, but it's lugged right into the chassis itself. It's super heavy duty. There's a whole world of accessories that can work with these if you scan around Amazon. There's little tray tables, there's grill mounts, There's hammock inserts that can go in here, but obviously, the outside wastebasket, that's a useful one right there. But easily, the best of these ever would be the bumper dumper. And if you don't know what that is, do yourself a favor and don't look it up. So once again, thank you very much for tuning in. Leave me some comments and let me know what you think about the updates and some of those ideas I presented, like how I look at the king bed, is that right or wrong? And what do you think about that suggestion I had for the way that they could maybe improve this floor plan further and kind of merge and combine the 25.5 and this 24 RE bedroom space into something I think is better for everybody all the way around. It's gonna weigh a little bit more, it's gonna cost a little bit more, but the storage that you're gonna get, especially washer dryer owners, because if you put a washer dryer in this right now, you basically lose your closet space. And if you appreciate the way that I don't duck around stuff like that, if something is potentially detrimental, I go out of my way to show you that. If you like that kind of no-nonsense stuff, hit the subscribe button, follow along with us here. Hit the like button on the video. Again, leave us some comments. Remember, it is for sale. We would love the opportunity to work with you here. We don't do hidden dealer fees, by the way. Sorry for the convenience. And take a look at those links in the video description, whether you want to see it in farmhouse or if you want to see the full Eagle factory video tour. I got both of them for you. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Almost forgot what to say. Yep.